Hey guys, King of Triumphs here to be your judge, your jury, your analyst, and today I bring to you the most powerful team from the Element Cup from the last season. It's been a year since the Element Cup's been out, well, not really a year, almost a year, and it hasn't really changed too much. The Chinchou is still really strong, so you have Chinchou. This features Chinchou, Bulbasaur, or Vulpix Safe Switch, with either one works. I would say Bulbasaur is kind of the main one because you want to take out the confusion user so that Chinchou can go ahead and bolt it down if Chinchou, or otherwise you just get RPS. But this team does really well. It does feature Vulpix with Quick Attack just so that you don't get locked into a Chinchou, and also Vulpix with Quick Attack does better against the Fire Mirror. But it's up to you. This team does really, really well. It's very, very powerful, and Chinchou is really strong for its ability to essentially beat other water types and to take on the fire type archetype as well. Literally, Chinchou's only really stone cold hard weakness is going to be grass types, just because it does get walled. But Thunderbolt does so much damage. If you land a Thunderbolt on a grass Pokemon, because things are so classy in the Element Cup, you can still do the damage and come out with a W. But before we get started with this shoutcast, my therapist mental health of the day comes first. And, well, I'm really confused right now. But, yeah, I'm really jumbled up. But my therapist mental health of the day today is going to be, make sure you do get some rest. And I always say this, like, get some rest. I use this multiple times because getting adequate rest it does affect your whole functioning and does throughout the day. For example, my circadian rhythm for me is 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. or 6 a.m. actually. So I can operate around like 7 hours of sleep. When I was in the military, they really test you by screwing the unholy hell out of your sleep cycle and just making you dirt bed tired. So that's how they break your spirit. That's how they force you to quit. And I didn't quit when I was 17 years old, so that's how I turned out where I am today. So yes, but do make sure you do get some rest. In this case, I already told you before, I'm lowering my content days, at least for a little bit, but there's also justification for that because I'm also closing therapy cases. With that, there's a lot of paperwork that's involved in that and a lot of things that go through so that I can close the half my caseload and retain the caseload I have that I'm going to keep over the summer. So, especially when you work with insurance therapy, as a therapist, there's a lot of things to do. Usually I'll create content or do something else, and I still have to do therapy for that day and work on grad school. So I'm juggling a lot of things right now. So till that one piece, as in my school site, I don't no longer do school site clients, or I don't have any more after I close all of them, then I can go ahead and do a lot more. But as of right now, I'm taking a break by lowering stuff. So getting some adequate rest is really important. I don't like deriving from my sleep cycle because I love being a great therapist and the best version of myself I can possibly be for my kiddos and just for my clients in general. By being well rested, I can comfortably do therapy without falling asleep on my chair, because even when people pour in their problems to you and you're just like mentally exhausted or you're just like tired physically, it's not a great combination. So just put that out there. But yes, make sure y'all do get adequate rest. If you don't, make sure you get rest later. Usually what happens with me is if I do screw up my sleep cycle, I'll wake up and just let it fix itself on the night. So I'll be able to stay up. But yes, make sure y'all get some rest. Without further ado, this is the most powerful Element Cup from the previous time Element Cup was around. And it's to this day, this team is still really strong. Without further ado, let's get started. Alright, here are the battles. So there's 3 ways you could play with Chinchou. 1, you outright win the lead. 2, you sack Chinchou in the lead, or 3, you safe switch in either Bulbasaur or Vulpix. Usually Bulbasaur is going to be your safe switch, or Vulpix, depending on how you're feeling. Either one can work. I would use Vulpix because if you lock Bulbasaur into a confusion user, it's going to really suck for you. Like how my opponent just stayed in with their Carvanha and decided to do something fancy. They probably were really weak to Chinchou, that's why they didn't switch out. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to fire this Bumblebee against his Shadow Ninetales. And my opponent woke up and chose violence, because that's a Ninetales. And now this is a 500 CP Walrein. Some people go really hard on these cups, and sometimes they're really broken. In this case, it's very, very broken. It's like a Game of Thrones episode, you know, the whatchamacallit, that one chick comes out walking out and like does shame, 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 and then starts ringing the bell. It's basically what my opponent is doing to me right now. Shame on you for not noticing this. It absolutely bodying me. As you see here, I absolutely do a terrible misplay. I should have Weather Balled instead of Body Slam in this scenario, but unfortunately I do not do that. Icicle Spears are going to go off because Walrein is so dang overpowered. Yes, it's overpowered in Open Great League, and when you magically allow it in the Element Cup when it's not supposed to be here, it does a lot of work. So we're just going to use all this energy, Body Slam, And I'm just, it's pretty much GG's. My opponent only has their Shadow Ninetales left. I should be able to Body Slam here, and then I can send in Bulbasaur, Vine Whip down, or I could do a lot of other fanciness. In this case, I'm just going to send in Bulbasaur, Vine Whip down, and that's GG's. My opponent either quit out or they just succumb to the Vine Whip, and to this point, they just left. Despite the fact that you tried way harder than I did. It's a really nice win battle, by the way. 169, it's a very nice number. We still got the W, and that's GG's. My brain was trying to wrap my head around because Element Cup still wasn't fixed, but I wasn't willing to, like, go back and, like, do it for content or whatever, but... Of course, you know, Go Battle League is totally working right now. It's the greatest game of all the time. And you know what? This person says, I'm not in the USA. Well, is that I'm not in the USA or I am in the USA? I don't know. But, you know, the United States isn't that great of a country. As you know, I served 7 years in it. I'm a military veteran. I served 7 years. My country is pretty great. It's pretty great, but we're not great at everything. So we got Chinchou on a Vulpix, which is great for us because we don't really need to switch out. And now we got Chinchou locked in a Bulbasaur, which is actually not that great for us. Our opponent can choose to 2-shield their way through this if they want to. So I'm going to double Seed Bomb and just like break both of their shields. Our opponent's going to probably try to win switch here. Bulbasaur does really well. Gets a variety of combinations. Unfortunately, in this case, you're not going to do too great. Connie's going to try to Seed Bomb me to Oblivion, but unfortunately, that's just not going to work, dude. Your Con Ball is going to go off, they win switch, and now I have to send in Vulpix because Vulpix resists these charms, and they're still chunking really, really hard. So I'm charging a little bit here, and I'm going to shield once. I just want to overcharge on Vulpix. I lost switch anyways. They might not have an answer to Chinchou, that, or they're locking me into their worst nightmare, which it could be Chinchou. All I'm going to do is overcharge here, and then I'm going to fire the Body Slam. So the reason why I should have fired Weather Ball, but it doesn't really matter just because they're the same energy. Body Slam goes off, takes out the Cotton Ball, and all we got back is a Ducklet. So I was kind of right. My opponent doesn't really have an answer against Chinchou. They are weak to Chinchou, which is why they threw their... I don't know, why wouldn't you just lock in Cottony, but yeah. Either way, we come out with a W. Doesn't really matter because we got this. Vulpix can go on fire and do whatever it wants, but this is literal GG's. Body Slam goes off, we're just going to fire the Bubble Beams, and then this is just going to be another day in the office. I know some of y'all really hate the Element Cup, and a lot of y'all really hate, yeah, some of y'all are really going to play it. We're going to leave our opponent with a shield so they can roll over to the next match. All I'm going to do here is fire this Bubble Beam. Even if there's no way my opponent gets to a Brave Bird in this scenario. And Bubble Beam should lower any damage, so even if they Bubble Beam or aerial speed, I can still come out with a W. And I still got a really, really healthy Vulpix in the back. Well, not really. It's halfway dead. You know what I mean? It's like California. It's like burger. It's like what you call it. If in relation to food, it's like halfway dead. Like a what you call it. Let's say you go to a buffet and you eat out half of the restaurant. That's basically what it is. No, that's like I've never been kicked out for eating that much food, but I definitely have had friends that got kicked out of buffets because they can absorb a lot of food. We got Legend on Legend action. We got Chinchou on Chinchou action, and Shinies do more damage. So my opponent has the advantage in this case. So, with Shiny Chinchou comes great responsibility. Oh, wait, no. But, as you see here, I'm going to go straight for the Thunderbolt. You know what? I figured at this point, my opponent might not shield this. Remember I told you about the one wing condition being you could kind of force your way through? That's exactly what I do here. And one Thunderbolt will KO, and my opponent does not shield. And they top left immediately. Mistakes were made. A lot of mistakes were made. Yes, if you do not shield in the mirror match, you will get taken out by the Thunderbolt. And I don't know why my opponent didn't shield. At this point, the you win screen is being here for a little longer because I'm just like literally dying. Or I'm just like, why? I'm like shocked. I'm like, why? Why would you not? Sir, why would you not shield? It's so much of a risk. But they chose to risk. They chose violence. And in this case, they did choose Shiny Chinchou. So yeah. We win the lead again, but this actually isn't a bad lead for our opponent just because Slowpoke can actually force its way through the 2-shield. So it's not even really a bad matchup. We're going to Bubble Beam here since our opponent gave up switch. And then all we're going to do is stay in, fire the second Bubble Beam. We have shield advantage. There's no real reason for me to switch out or anything like that. I will shield this Body Slam though. I just want to grab this second shield and then I can send Vulpix. Or I can do chip damage here, send in Vulpix and fully farm down. They're already -2, so either way it would have worked. It really didn't matter what I did in this scenario. As you see, it's going to go through. We get our opponents. We fire the move through. And I try to do something fancy like catch a Body Slam. But in reality, there was really no point. This is likely going to be a Body Slam, or it's going to be a Weather Ball, in which a Cot would be good, but this is already a -2 Vulpix to begin with. Getting this extra energy lead is pretty vital, because it doesn't really matter what our opponent does at this rate. I know you got the Slowpoke, and there's a Ducklet. Now, a lot of people are very weak to Chinchous for some reason. My Light Bulb, Nightlight, little destroyer of worlds, or destroyer of Elo, is going to go out here and end your life. But here's the problem. That's a whole Ducklet. And guess what's weak to Ducklet? What Bulbasaur is weak to? Ducklet. Because Ducklet has Wing Attack. Bubble Beams are going to throw through. I'm just going to let our Vulpix go. And then I'm going to be... I'm basically... Well, I'm not dead. But like, yo, Ducklet does have Wing Attack. I'm going to send in my Chinchou, and I fire a Bubble Beam just to slow it down. So this is why this is really bad. Because I have Bulbasaur in the back, I need to debuff this Slowpoke just so these Confusions don't do a lot of damage. But they actually end up blowing their energy, which is even better. Side Shock will go off, but because they're below their energy, I don't really have a threat of using my second shield. I could successfully farm down here, fire the Sludge Bomb, and that's GG's. This would have been really rough because I had to find some sort of way to navigate around the Slowpoke. So just because I have Bulbasaur in the back, that doesn't necessarily mean it was a good time. As you see, Sludge Bomb goes through, and it does enough damage because Bulbasaur does a huge amount of damage against that Ducklet, and that's GG's. But yeah, wow, somehow I was able to dance around. We got Pokemon Master Mike, so we got Chinchou on to Seel. This actually, if this is a Lick Seal, this isn't that bad, but it's not a Lick Seal, it's an Ice Shard, so I can expect my opponent to swap out pretty shortly. I'm going to fire this Thunderbolt. Hopefully they don't shield like my opponent in the third match, but let's be serious. They're gonna shield. They shield, they fire their move. I'm not going to shield here. I do resist both Icy Wind and Water Pulse, depending on what this would be, and it's an Icy Wind. So I made the right call. Now my opponent switch out into their own Chinchou. I'm going to send in Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur does wall Chinchou, but I do have to be careful because Thunderbolt can still do a huge amount of damage if it lands on a Bulbasaur, even if it's resistant. Just because everything's so glassy in the Element Cup. As you see, Bubble Beam goes off. I make the right call. I'm just gathering a little more. Overcharge a little bit here so that you get enough for like 2 C-Bombs. So I can go and Carpet Bomb the holy crap out of my opponent, their Elo. C-Bomb goes off. This KOs the Chinchou. And we get a Growlithe. So I gather a little more energy. I'm going to fire the Sludge Bomb. If my opponent doesn't shield this, Growlithe dies. But if they do shield it, this is great. So as you see, they didn't shield. And I'm like, what the heck? Why wouldn't you shield? I'm expecting a top left pretty soon. And that's GG's. I hope y'all enjoyed this shoutcast. This is the most powerful team in the Element Cup from last season, and as you see, it still works wonders in the current season. GG's. And that's GG's. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. As you see, this Chinchou in the lead is just a boss. And if you don't shield the Thunderbolt in the mirror, as you learn, you die. You wake up and you choose violence. Thunderclap and Flash is a mighty move. And Raikage does not play Naruto. If you do see the Raikage is one pissed off dude. And that guy will clothesline you or kill, yeah. I mean, dude practically almost killed Sasuke. If not, Killer B almost practically killed Sasuke. Multiple times, but yes. Anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed the battles. Do me a huge favor, please like and subscribe. Also, stop and comment for the YouTube algorithm. Those of you that do it, I do try to reply as much as I can or as fast as I can whenever I do have the time. And Stufffolk Squad, y'all know what to do. I really do appreciate y'all day in, day out. I hope y'all are doing very, very well. The season is almost over, so that you can go back to ranked play. Maybe there's something new. I hope they never do an interlude season ever again, because if it's anything that's been proved the interlude season, is that Niantic can't fix anything adequately without it breaking. They said, oh, we fixed the fast move. Oh, we fixed all of this. Why am I still lagging? Why was these Pokemon allowed in the Element Cup? Yeah, I saw evolutions. That's not supposed to happen, but yes, don't trust Niantic. But at the same time, I do wish you the best of the Go Valley sets. Just hang in there, y'all. We're almost done with the season. We can move on to the next one. Good luck, and I will see y'all on the next video.